The third quarter is almost over, people. The third quarter is almost over. And what is almost or nearly upon us is what is potentially the most important quarter of the year. It's the fourth and final quarter. And the work you put in that fourth quarter is going to be, is going to reap great rewards, not only in this quarter, this last quarter, but also will help you win the first quarter of 2026. I can't even believe I'm talking about that right now, but that is the reality of the situation. The third quarter is almost over. I have a jam-packed schedule today that I want to dig into. It's going to be a lot of me doing the work. So this is definitely going to be more of a work session. The last couple of days I was sharing, things that were going on at the event I was at and so forth. And I do want to start with a couple more takeaways from the event yesterday. From yesterday, I got back around 5 o'clock, then went right to running my daughter around, Sammy, to practices, etc. I'm gonna kick it off. I'm just gonna get right into it. There were so many good, I'm going through my pages of notes from the event, and it was only 2 days, and I left at lunchtime yesterday because I had to get back for Sammy. This is something I have not embraced for a while or explored the concept of for a while. One of the topics yesterday morning was identifying and really embracing what are your core values. What are your core values in business? What are your core values for your family? And so I thought I would share the 6 that I wrote down. I think 6 is like the max. They had shared, decide between, decide on 3 to 6 core values. And this is honestly just like as I was right in the moment, this is just what came up for me during this presentation. Number 1 for me, family first. Okay. Honestly, God above all else. I don't even have to put that on here. God above all else, family first. Number 2, be a problem solver. Be a problem solver. I'm going to give you an example of some simple problem solving I did yesterday, which is already leading to an appointment. Okay. So family first, problem solver, embrace the suck. Embrace the suck. With that, I have do the work, right? Do the work, embrace the suck. Do the work, embrace the suck. Like just do the work. Just do the work. Just do the work. Be authentic and transparent. Be authentic and transparent. And the last one, which kind of goes with the second one. So I probably just need to pick one way of positioning this, but FIO, figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. Right? If I'm not going to single anyone out, but I can't tell you how many agents I hear from every week asking questions that if they just took 2 minutes to figure it out using ChatGPT or doing a simple search on YouTube or Google, just figure it out. Figure it out. Family first, problem solver, embrace the suck, do the work, authentic and transparent, FIO, figure it out. And then I also wrote, this is one of my favorite books. It's a mantra in our house. Chop wood, carry water. Chop wood, carry water. Had a great day. Great. Tomorrow, you know what we're going to do? We're going to chop wood, carry water. Had a terrible day. Okay, great. You know what we're going to do tomorrow? We're going to chop wood, carry water. We're just going to keep doing the work. Keep doing the work. Keep doing the work. I also got an idea from the conference that I am going to implement here with these live sessions. And I'm hoping this is something that gets traction. Because I think me sharing what I'm doing has value. You can rip off and duplicate it and find ways to apply it to your business. But that alone, has whatever, a finite amount of value, let's say. But one of the reasons why I'm doing these live streams is for my own accountability, By going live on here, I have to have something to share, and I'm going to share the work that I'm doing, right? So it's like built-in accountability for me. And what I thought was cool, this was a great idea from the event. I think this came from Blake Sloan, is I would love it. I would love it if there every day when you got on here, you post a comment with one action you're going to take today to grow your business. And it's an action. You're committing to doing something. So not a result, right? So like I have 3 settlements today. Yeah, 3. And that's wonderful. That is a result of the actions that I took weeks and in some cases months ago, right? We can't directly control the results. We can directly control the actions and the process we follow. So I would love to make that a staple of the Closers Cafe, is we post in the comments, what action are you going to take today to grow your business? And then the next time we're live, which in this case will be Monday, we come back on and we celebrate whether or not you did that action, and then we commit to the next one. We commit to the next action. So I would love to know in the comments, what one thing are you committed to today to grow your business? What one thing will you do today to grow your business? And if you don't know yet, I'm about to do a bunch of stuff and share a bunch of stuff, and you can take any of that. Which, by the way, this is not how I'm going to settlements. It's just that it's been Scramble City here. You know, I was away at a conference today. We're flying out to Chicago, Pam and I, to watch Caden play tomorrow morning. So I'm just kind of, and I'm also trying to make sure that I get enough sleep through all of this, that I can enjoy tomorrow and stay healthy, etc. So I will, after the live here, I will get cleaned up and look a little bit more presentable for the settlements today. Okay, so here's what I wanted to share. I'm going to get right into it, and I'm going to hope that we start to get some comments. I want to see comments. What is your one thing that you're going to do, one action? And the one action could be that it could be 5 things, but one action, meaning I am going to DM 5 people in my sphere about whatever, or I'm going to send, here's could be your one action. I'm going to log into Swipe for Leads, or I'm going to create my free account at Swipe for Leads, and I'm going to do my outreach to the 5 fresh leads today. And in fact, let's just start with that since I mentioned it. I'm going to log in here. Where is it here? Where is it? Hold on. Okay, so whoops. Well, I'm just going to tap on I have it on my home screen. I'm going to tap on that. I got to log in, sign in, and we're signing in. And just checking my criteria, the criteria I have saved. I'm going to go, I'm going to try something here. I'm going to mix up my criteria. I'm going to make a change to the zip code that I am targeting. And I'm going to choose vacant. Okay. David, this is great. David, thank you. Thank you for starting the party. I have a number of people in my database that I'm going to follow up in hopes of getting a more clear picture of how I can help them. That is great. I'm going to challenge you though, David. Put a number to it. I will reach out to a minimum of 5 people in my database in hopes of getting a more clear picture of how I can help them. Right? And you don't have to drop that, but when you're sharing something like that, make it so that you can track, did I do it or not? Right? Because this is not, what's the SMART goals? Specific, measurable, action-oriented. I forget what R stands for, but you want it to be so that you can say, yes, I did it. No, I didn't. So I'll just pick a number, whether it's 3, whether it's 5, whatever it is, get a little bit more specific with the number there. All right, so I'm going to save my criteria. I did save it. And I'm going to get my fresh 5 leads. I tap on fresh 5. I get today's leads. Here we go. I like that one. I like that one a lot. I like that one, that one, that one. Okay, I've got my 5 fresh leads. I'm going to go to view saved leads. This one is also, it's vacant and absentee out of state. This is a good one here. This is a good one. All right, let's see here. So I tapped on it. It's got the pre-populated message, and then I'm going to hit send. Oh, this is great. I'm also going to, I am also meeting a client for the first time and show properties at 1:30. So that's a result that already happened, which I love. That's a win. So here's what I would love every day is people sharing their win from the day before and their action for the day. So you did it. You did both. I love it. I've also, and he did confirm I'm going to do 5. And Cindy says, I'm going to reach out to 5 old leads who are very active on their home evaluation home bot. Beautiful. See, this is what I'm talking about. And then we can celebrate the actions that you took, whether or not they resulted in an actual tangible result. Like, here's the deal. Cindy is going to reach out to those 5. She cannot, what I would recommend to her or you, if you're in a similar boat, unhitch yourself or unhinge yourself with the result. I'm just going to do the work. I'm just going to do the work, and whatever results happen may happen. And if I just keep doing the work every single day, eventually you can't help but get the end result, being the contract and the closing, right? Conversations, contracts, closing. That's what we're about here on the Closers Cafe. All right, 1 down. 1 lead down. Here we go. Here's the next one. This one is absentee, but it's in state. It's free and clear, and it's vacant, according to this anyway. So, bada bing. Not blue text. This one happens to have, there are 3 phone numbers here. There are 3 phone numbers, none of which are on the DNC, which is, that's a little unusual, but I'll take it. Okay, so that's number 2 and number 3 here. Send that. Okay. And wow, that email does not look like it's a real email. So I'm just going to skip the email on that one. Now this one looks like a great email, but the 2 phone numbers we have are on the DNC. So I'm just going to do the email function. This one also is free and clear and appears to be vacant by all accounts. So, bada bing, I'm going to send that email. So I got 3 contacts down. Here's the next lead. This one only has a little equity, but enough equity that, we could make something happen. And it's got a bunch of numbers that are not on the DNC. And interesting, it shows as vacant. However, it's owner occupied. So we'll see. So I'm sending the text messages, which, by the way, I know I'm completely a broken record on this, but this text script, would you consider selling your property at X to a private client of mine? That text script continues to absolutely crush it over and over and over again. So I would continue to do whatever you can to find as many ways possible to use that. I would say that these emails don't look great either, but I've got 4 down. Do I have 4 down? Yep. Okay. Number 5 for the day, and then I'm going to move on to the next, action items on my list. This is definitely more of a work day. So I've got a good working number, or what appears to be a good working number, and what appears to be a good email for this last outreach. So send that. And that was a blue text, which is good. I like blue text, right? That means most likely it's a real recipient who we're just increasing the likelihood of response. Looks like wrong number on one of them. Got it. Thanks. My apologies. Whatever. I could try and spin it. Hey, who do you know? Who do you know that might be thinking about selling? So one more here, and then I'm going to pivot to a bunch of other stuff that I have on my list. A bunch of other stuff. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to share a couple of wins and do some of my work around those wins. And then I'm going to dig into my daily notification summary. I'm going to do some social posts to get some organic traffic and leads and promote one of my a new listing that I just had go live. As I'm doing that, please, please, please comment if you have questions. Maybe make your let us know what is the thing that you're committing to implementing today, action-wise, to grow your business. That would be great. Okay, so I have a listing appointment this morning. I have one on Monday, and I have one on Tuesday. Okay, and the one this morning, I just want to unpack these, just to break them down, as kind of like a case study for you all. And I'm going to go in reverse order. I'm going to go, meaning I'm going to start with the one that is next Tuesday. Is it next Tuesday? Oh my goodness. I have two on Monday, one on Tuesday, and one today. Huh. So here's what I'm going to start with this one here. And it's interesting what starts to happen where things start to, I don't know, like when you do the work, one thing leads to another, and it becomes like this opportunity snowball kind of thing. Okay. So, and I'll explain what I mean here in a minute. So this John, I sent him cold outreach in July. And it wasn't even, interesting. I've sent him, he must own multiple properties. Okay, yes, this is the scenario. So my very first cold outreach was for his personal residence. And then in September, I did cold outreach for it's a second home. It's a non-owner occupied second home that he's not renting. They just use it occasionally. And so he responded to the text script that I already mentioned. Hey, John, would you consider selling? Street address to a private client of mine. Yeah, sure, 249. Thanks, John. We'd probably be in the mid to high 100s. Then I wouldn't sell. I'd probably stop at 229. I didn't respond to that, which maybe I just dropped the ball. But then the 24th, what was that? Wednesday? He just replied again. My wife told me to sell it. 199 can take it. When can I pop by for a quick tour? Would Monday early afternoon? I can make it work. 1 o'clock. Okay. And then he sent this message here. It's funny. He's referencing some properties for sale, one of which is mine. And I actually have another one for sale up in that area. Okay. So here are the lessons and what I want to talk about, like where I was going with the compounding. I got an inbound motivated seller lead from someone Googling me. This is Diane. This is months ago at this time. This is like early summer. She wanted to sell a cabin in Perry County to the north of me, that had been in her family for, 11 or 12 years. Her and her husband had bought it. Husband passed away. There's a wild story in there. that, well, not a wild story, an interesting story in there that I'd never had happen on a deal that if we have time, maybe I'll share that. How's that for an open loop? Anyway, she calls me. We go and we meet at the property. No one had been there for a while. It was very overgrown. It looked like somebody had maybe broken into the cabin, etc. They spend several months getting it ready for sale. We list it for sale. Finally listed for sale a couple of weeks ago at this point, 2 Thursdays ago, I think at this point. And in this time, Diane's like she's my biggest fan, right? Like she's trying to find other business to refer me, etc. And she tells me, we know someone up in the area that we think is interested. And I think I told part of this story early in the week. The guy calls me. His name's Robert. He's interested in a cabin for his son, who is getting divorced, who also then has a home, a $400,000 to $450,000 home that he needs help selling. And they said, and when we're ready to sell, by the end of the conversation, it basically was, when we're ready to sell, we'll use you too. Okay. They go and look at the cabin. It's too much work for them. Okay. This property, I know hopefully I didn't lose you in the weeds here. This property here is perfect for his son and in the price range, the max price range that he said. My point is, I'm just playing matchmaker and just like, and the more you do the work, the more the connections appear and like, one thing leads to the next, to the next, to the next. Another thing, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I shared a reel that I created after leaving an appointment earlier this week about a property looking for a buyer off market. Well, an agent, another EXP agent called me. We had a great conversation. He then followed up with me again yesterday and say, hey, what's going on with this property? Do you have any others? I let him know about another one that I have off market. You just got to do the work. And the more conversations you have, the more you can weave together opportunities. Okay. So that came from cold outreach. David asked, what is the text again? It is, would you consider selling street address to a private client of mine? ? Thanks, Josh. Now, the private client that I'm referencing, if I don't actually have a specific client in mind, I can go and get cash offers with my iList platform. You can find that in the recommended resources in the description above or below this video. You can get a free 30-day trial. That is a way that I can get an offer, and I'm representing a private client in the area. It just so happens that the private client is a corporate institutional buyer, right? That's one way to do it. Now, when I have an actual client, I will match the message as much as I can. And in fact, I have a listing that will most likely go live next Thursday. That one came from that script. Would you consider selling your property? Would you consider selling street address to a private client of mine? In parentheses, he's looking to buy a ranch home for his mom, right? So if you have a specific buyer client or private client in mind, and you're matching that to the cold outreach, the more you can match that and make it like real and relevant and not seem just like, spammy or like bait and switch or whatever, the better and the more responsive those will be. For those of you hopping on, you can check out the comments. One of the things I want to get some traction on this is I would love for us to start posting in the comments a win from the last day and what action are you committing to taking today to grow your business? Action, not the result, because you don't have direct control over the result. And so, for example, Cindy said, I'm going to reach out to 5 old leads who are very active on their home evaluation. She's using HomeBot. I love that. That's a smart goal, right? Specific, measurable, action-oriented. I can't remember what the RTR, trackable. I know the trackable is T, but I can't remember what the R is. All right, that's really good. Okay, so that's the Monday appointment. The Tuesday appointment, that was a inbound cash offer motivated seller lead. I already told this story yesterday, so I'm gonna move quickly through that. It came in Tuesday night, pretty late. I called him Wednesday on lunch break at my conference, had a great conversation, got the appointment. I've also sent him, in Pennsylvania, we have required property disclosure forms. I've sent him those electronically. He's already filled them out. Like, this is a motivated seller. And time permitting this morning, I'm probably going to go and find some, who are the buyers for that property, because it's a property that will make either a great fix and flip or for a landlord to, for a long-term rental. Okay. So that's Tuesday. The other appointment on Wednesday is a follow-up on Monday, rather, is a follow-up appointment to the appointment I had earlier this week to take the listing. And that is one where they want pretty much retail, but they want to sell it as is, and it's full of stuff. So I am going to propose to them that they let me pay for the clean out. And at settlement, I get paid back for the clean out, and I'm going to get a higher commission rate. And I'm only offering that because I know I can sell the property. I know I can sell it. So I'm willing to take a little bit of a risk on that to help them in that situation. And then my 11 a.m. appointment, which is what I'm going to dig into next, prepping for that appointment because I haven't done that work yet. My 11 a.m. appointment was a motivated seller cash offer lead, a PPL lead, which again, you can find resources, all the stuff that I typically am referencing and pointing out, and cold outreach or cold inbound, or the stuff that we're doing with our existing database. That you're going to see every day. I put resources in the description with these videos. She came through several months ago at this point. I want to say like late spring, and I've just kept in touch and kept in touch and kept in touch and kept in touch. And she finally, earlier this week, I think, or late last week, said, I'm finally ready to have you pop by for a quick tour. And, she wanted me to come yesterday. I said, I'm out of town. Can we do Friday morning? She said 11 o'clock. And what I haven't done yet is, and I've shared this a couple of times on these live streams, but I'm going to go through the process again because I have to do it anyway. And we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. I'm going to share my process for preparing when I'm meeting with a seller like this, which also then can become my pre-listing packet. Okay, so I'm just going to dig into that right now. I will make a Google Drive folder in this situation. So 500 Warren Street. I just name the Google folder the street address. That way I know what it is, right? I do the street address. And normally I'm going to drop in a couple of the things right here that I always put in here. So I have a PDF on pricing strategy and strategically pricing the property to sell quickly and for top dollar. So I have a PDF of that I put in here. I have a PDF, a checklist from the local photography company that I use for all of my listings that is to prep them, what their recommended, it's just a checklist of getting ready for the photo shoot, basically. And then I've got these case studies of properties that I've sold. It's like 26 or 28 of them. And they're just the MLS sheet, one-page MLS sheet. And on this actually is pretty cool. So all I did to get these circles here is I sent myself the PDF on my phone. I opened the PDF on my phone and I hit like edit or something like that. I think it's up in the top right. And I could do the marker function and then resave the document. So I just circled the original price, the sold price, the days on market, original price, sold price, days on market, original price, sold price, days on market. And all of these are examples that we sold for over the starting sale price and in less than 7 days. I think there's one in there that took 8 days. We were on the market for 8 days. And I use that to position what I call my 7-day stress-free home sale. Okay. So those are docs that I will put in here right off the bump. And then there are several different AVM tools that I use so that I can get an idea, what these different tools think the property is worth. And the last thing, so there's 4 different tools that I use for this. And then the last thing I do is actually go and find the comps in the MLS, okay? So I'm in RPR now. I just pull up the address. I'm choosing the seller report. Her name is Linda Stump, I think. So while that's working, I'm going to go into prop stream and I'm going to pull that data. I'm kind of going out of order this morning, if I'm being honest. Like, I like to start with my lead generation and lead conversion work. So I'm just saying that because normally, yeah, I'm just going out of order. I should have started and knocked out all of that first. And that's normally what I do in the first half hour, or I have been doing in the first half hour. But I just got a little bit, if you can't tell, I'm a little bit helter-skelter from being away and then being away again, and settlements and appointments all day, etc. Okay, so I've got that now. We have access to something called Remine with our MLS, and I like to use that as well because that actually pulls in several different valuation tools. So First American data, the Zestimate. Usually there's a Redfin estimate too, and sometimes even another one. So I'm going to grab those. And then I have access to House Canary through one of the lenders we have on our mortgage team, which, by the way, this same lender has a refi promo going on right now that we have a whole bunch of people in the pipeline that we're getting refinanced who are above 6.5, and we're getting them refied at 5.5, or in some cases even slightly lower. So if you have any clients, if they're at 6.5 or higher, we should absolutely chat to see if we can get them locked in at a rate, in the mid to low fives. Just call or text me direct 717-571-0456. Now, I can already spot a potential problem that I'm going to have with Linda, because I know that Linda thinks we should be able to sell this house for $275. And I'm thinking that is a problem. Now, in my conversation with her, she claims that her property is 4-bed, 2-bath, not a 3-bed, 1-bath, which is what the tax record data is pulling. So, she may be right. And I'm going to, in the actual, comp work that I do here directly in the MLS in a minute, maybe we'll get a better idea. So why do I do, I do all of this work ahead of time so I can, and I try to do it the day of. I like to do it the morning of when I am meeting with people about their property, because the information and the data is fresh in my mind. So I can speak intelligently about the comps and what the automated values are, et cetera, without relying on having to pull it up. Now, there are, I don't remember, it's not like I memorize all this stuff or anything like that, but I at least have enough information fresh in my head that I can speak intelligently before I go, and I'll pull out my laptop, I'll tether to my hotspot, and I'll pull up the person's Google Drive folder that I've created while I'm there. Before I go to the MLS and pull the comps there, I always also will pull up the property using iList. And this is my version of iList. It's fastcashoffers.ai. You can get a free trial. The link should be in the description. But you can get a free 30-day trial, growwithjosh.com/iList. It's the letter ILIST. Okay. So I'm going to save the snapshot, and the values here are anywhere from 232 to 253. And then we've got some offer ranges here. I'm just deselecting because I'm not going to show these. I don't want to show these to her. I just want to show her two options, and then what she would net with the 7-day stress-free home sale process that I outlined. Okay. That just gives me another, it just gives me more data, just more data points, more data points. That's what I'm looking for here. All right, lastly, we're going to go into the MLS. Log in here. I'm going to go residential sale. I want Lemoyne because that's the location, Lemoyne. I'm going to go 3 to 4 bedrooms, 1 to 2 baths. And what is the 1941? So I'm going to go year built 1930 to 1960. There are no active listings. And there are 6 pending and closed. So let's see what we got here. Okay. Well, here's some good news. This one sold for $310. This one sold for $298. This one sold, holy smokes. That is wild. The AVMs, according to this, are way off. And that might be because, according to tax record data, it's only a 3-bed, 1-bath, which I'll see in person today, obviously. But let's see, I'm going to scroll through here. Interesting, 310. What's going on here? Well maintained. Okay. Maybe it was even listed higher. Okay. 298. What we got going on here? Okay. 325. All right, this is very encouraging for Linda. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select all. I'm going to print. I'm going to go client full and print PDF. And then I'm going to save it. 500 Warren, MLS comps. And now I'm going to go back. Where is my folder? I have too many tabs open, which is often a problem. There it is. So now I'm going to go grab all of these. I've got 5 PDFs here. 4 of them are around AVMs and then the actual MLS comps. So usually what I end up having here is somewhere between 7 and 10 PDF docs that I have in a folder that I can then pull up and reference live there. What does that demonstrate to the person? That I actually took the time to prepare and come like fully, leading with knowledge. We're talking about what the market says about the property, not just my opinion. Here's what I think it'll sell for. Well, let's take a look at what the data is telling us. Okay. So that is now I'm ready for Linda, and I'm crossing that off. And now I need to move to the next couple of items on my list here. All right, here's what we're going to do next. I'm going to pull up my my Gmail, and I'm going to do my daily notification summary, which I normally start with, and see what we can turn up from there. And actually, this is it's actually a unintended perfect pivot, because the Linda, what led to the appointment, or what like the final thing that led to the appointment, was me sending her an email because I saw her in my daily notification summary that I get from Bright, which is a daily portal notification summary. Okay. So Doug, we actually are settling on a 2-unit. Doug is an investor client. We're settling on a 2-unit next Friday. Giddy up. Ken, I've talked to recently. Richard, Payne, Tiffany, we talked to a lot. Cindy, I talked to a lot. I'm looking for who haven't I messaged in a while in here that it might make sense. And some days there's no one. I've talked to Isabel recently, Adam recently, Travis, Scott as well, Valerie, Charlene. Oh, okay. So here, I'm going to stop here for a minute and talk about one of the core values that I mentioned at the top here. I'm going to read them again that I wrote down for me. Family first, problem solver, embrace the suck, do the work, authentic and transparent, figure it out. And I need to clean that up because there's some overlap there, but you get the point. Here's what I want to highlight: problem solving. Okay. This is a simple example of how we can be paid to problem solve, but it's a good one nonetheless. I think it's a good reminder. Charlene, okay, so Charlene actually is a client that I shared the conversation that we had, which led to an appointment to getting her pre-approved, et cetera, on the very first Closers Cafe 2 weeks ago now. I think it was 2 weeks ago now, exactly. No, 2 weeks from yesterday, okay? We got her pre-approved. She had a very specific criteria. So her budget was up to 400. She needs at least 4 bedrooms and needs to be a master on Main. And she's very motivated. So I showed her a property. It's not really a good fit. And in the geographic area that she's looking, there aren't many 4-bedroom, 2-story with a master on Main. There's literally, there's been like the same 4 or 5 for 2 weeks now. And she texted me yesterday asking, hey, have you found any other homes? Right? She's very motivated. And in this 2 weeks, I had introduced her to Cosette, who's the buyer agent on my team, and looped her in. But I dropped the ball in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to take responsibility for this, even if it wasn't. Like, Cosette had not been doing proactive work to find properties for Charlene. Okay? And I'm going to take the brunt of that because I haven't been a good enough leader to train Cosette on how to do that. So when I got home last night, I thought about how can I find other options for Charlene that I just haven't thought about yet, right? And again, this is not like groundbreaking stuff, but I think it's helpful. So I thought, well, homes are sometimes sitting a little longer, and then sellers are more negotiable. Her budget's 400. Why don't I look for, are there any that fit the criteria that are just a little over 400? Why I didn't think of that before, I don't know, but I found one listed for 50 days. It's at 414 and it would be perfect. So they're going to check that one out today. But I didn't stop there. I thought, well, how else could we address their needs in a more unique way? So then what I also then found or went to look for is single story 3-bedroom homes that also have at least 400 feet of finished square feet in the basement, because it's just reversing. And I found a bunch of options through that process, like 8 or 9. So a simple thing to creatively solve the problem of how do I find more possible options for this very motivated client that just, we just haven't found the right thing yet, right? So just like creative problem solving and trying to look at things from a different lens. Okay, well, how else might we, what might we find the desired solution for her? So if that was helpful in any way, give me a thumbs up. And if it wasn't, don't give me a thumbs down. All right, here, I'm back to looking at this. Let's see if there's any others. Some days this goes on and on and on, and some days it's pretty short. Okay, it looks like I'm pretty caught up to speed on these, so I'm not gonna waste much more time. Also, it's Friday. I'm busy as it is. I'm loaded up with appointments. I'm kind of at capacity as far as things go, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. However, I haven't done this work, and I am telling you, this is work. If you're not doing this work, you need to have someone doing this work on a daily basis. You have to time block this work of going through your new leads and fully dispositioning every single one, every single time. And in fact, there are a couple in here that I need to call back. So this is a lead that came from, I think, Zillow. Yeah, this came from Zillow from one of my listings. So this was just a Zillow, what do they call it? A Zillow Connect lead or something like that. Came from one of my listings. And so I changed the status from new lead to prospect. I'm going to add this person to a market report for the area that he reached out about. And this is a really weird listing where PennDOT, which is like our state Department of Transportation, is taking part of the property through eminent domain. So it's just like a weird thing. I probably should have put it on temporarily off market, but I will absolutely reach out to Nathan once we're done here to have a conversation and see how we might help. Here's another lead that came in. Now, this came from the lead capture function with iList, and I can see that this person was looking at a specific property on my website, on my Bold Trail website in Edders. And even though it says, for some reason, it found an address in Brentwood, Tennessee, that seems fishy because this person was looking at properties in Edders. So I'm going to add a market report for Edders. Number one, I'm going to add a search alert. Okay. Edders is a really small area. So I'm going to go Edders homes for sale. Actually, you know what? Let's actually go a little deeper here. Let me look at this property. This is really freaking cool. If you're not using the website lead capture tool with iList, we absolutely need to chat. And if you're curious about that, am I sharing my screen? Okay, good. If you're curious about the lead capture tool, the link to our Skool community is in the description. Go join for free. Go to Classroom. Go to Replays. And the July 30th replay, capture 4x leads. Watch that. And then get signed up. Okay? Okay? So somehow or another, this person found this listing on my website. They didn't opt in, but I captured them as a lead thanks to the tool that's demonstrated in here. And all it is a script that you put on your website in the header. It's like a tracking code. Freaking killer. Freaking killer. Okay. So, interesting. Okay. So back to this. So I have them set up on a market report. I'm going to get them set up on a search alert, homes for sale. And I'm going to go 250 to 500K. And I'm going to do it twice a week. And it's going to be Edders. And I'm going to go condos, single family, townhouse, price range, 250,000 to 500,000. And I'm going to save and send. I have no idea how many are on there. Okay, there's more than I thought. 7. Very nice. Okay. I need to switch that from new lead to prospect. And then the last thing I'm going to do, because something seems fishy about this, fishy in that, like, she's clearly looking in Edders, but it's got a Tennessee address. So I'll pull up True People Search and I'll paste in the URL. Okay, so this is interesting. So the email that it found is for John Green. Melissa Green was the contact it pulled in. But what's further interesting is they used to live in Edders. So the current address is Tennessee, but previous address is Edders. And there were 2 previous Edders addresses. So this could be a really good lead. Could be a really good lead. They might be looking to relocate in the area. And there's a wireless phone number here that I am going to add to the contact record as well that I found. Okay. So why would I go through all this work? And I'm recommending, like, with emphasis, I'm recommending that you or someone on your team needs to do this with every single new lead that comes into your CRM. And you should be doing it every day or at least every weekday. Like, I mean, okay, if they want to sell this house and move back to Edders, that is likely net GCI somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000. Like, I'm going to go the extra mile. Go to the next one. What do we got here? I'm going to switch it to prospect. This was also a Zillow Connect lead. I don't know, Zillow must have been promoting my one listing or something. So this is another one that came through. I'm gonna put them on. I'm gonna put on a home search or a market report. And you know what? Why would I not be putting these on search alerts also? And yeah, why would I not be doing that? Actually, I'm going to wait on that because I'm going to try and call them first to get a better idea of what they're looking for. I'm going to explain the weird situation that's going on with this one, find out what they're looking for, and then I can set up the search alert appropriately. This was another lead that came in. Was this Zillow or was this homes.com? This one came in from homes.com on one of my listings. I just personally messaged him, and he's going to look at it's a building lot I have available. He's going to go look at that on Wednesday. I'm sorry, on Monday. But you know what? Let's see if we can find out where to look at this. Look at here. 310 Equus. Let's see if he is the owner or if he's renting. Look at this. We going sizzler. I don't know why I'm singing that. Sorry. Look at this. So this lead owns this house. Okay. Why is that information like that? That's freaking killer. That's great information to know. So I get to add this information, okay, to his contact record, 310 Equus. And then when I follow up with him on Tuesday after he goes and looks at the building lot, I can ask, hey, what are you like? Are you thinking about selling the place in Camp Hill and building up there, or like what's the situation? What's the scenario here? And not only that, but I can also get him added to a Camp Hill market update, as well. Relevant, congruent information based upon data that I went and appended. Beautiful. All right, what do we got here? Where did this one come from? This one requested a cash or went to our cash offer page. So this came from a Google pay-per-click ad looking for a cash offer for their property. What's weird is I'm not running ads to Baltimore, but whatever, I can refer it. And I think it was 21215 was the zip code. Is that right? Yep. I'm going to add that to a market report. By the way, if you have questions about anything that I'm doing or want clarification on anything that I'm doing, please comment below. Like, I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm just trying to move. Like, I got a lot to do. So I'm moving fast today, but you can always go back and rewatch these. You can slow it down. You can speed it up. You can do whatever you need to let it all soak in. All right. I don't know how, somehow or another, this person got on the finance page on my website. I don't know how that happened, but in those cases where I'm like really confused, I'll just send this kind of catch-all. Hey, it looks like you were on our website yesterday. Is that right? That's just an email I send in situations like that. All right. Ooh, Lancaster. What do we got here? This is another one that landed on came from a PPC ad. At least had some intent for a cash offer. So I'm going to get them added to that smart campaign, and I'm going to get them added to a market report. Here. Okay, I'm caught up there. So my next story is this. A lot of those leads came from the capture script. Okay, a lot of those leads came from what you'll see in the July 30th mastermind replay in the free Skool community. Go and join, go to Classroom, go to replays, watch this. One of the settlements today came thanks to that tool. I would not have captured the lead if not for that tool, and I wouldn't have the settlement. So in less than 60 days of using that lead capture functionality, I have tangible ROI. I will have direct deposited a commission check, probably tomorrow morning or Monday morning at the latest, because EXP, we do direct deposit, and beautiful. What is the script for those captured leads? I'm getting some of those. Great question. The answer is it depends. It depends on what page or how they were captured. And so what I was trying to demonstrate is, for example, that first one, this is the page. You can see what page they were captured on. You can see what page they went to. So when you go, and I know this will work for you, David, because you're using Bold Trail, and I don't know that it's exactly the same for everyone, but you can see what page they came from, and that was the page they came from. So the script or the follow-up that I use, I make it as relevant and congruent to how they came in. So if they were captured from a Google pay-per-click ad about a cash offer, about getting a cash offer for their property, I'm going to put them on a smart campaign for that. If it's just weird and random, because some of them I get and I'm like, I have no idea why they would have been on that page, then I'll just send that catch-all email. Hey, it looks like you were on our website yesterday. Is that right? Okay. Cindy, what kind of market report do you send? So it's just the standard market report in Bold Trail. So I just add them to that, and they get an email that like summarizes how many actives, how many just sold, the average price point. I think it like highlights the most expensive listing right now, the least expensive listing right now, the most popular listing right now, and that's just a function in Bold Trail. And Cindy, I can't remember what you said you're using CRM wise, but you'd likely have some sort of function that you can use along those lines. So it's nice in Bold Trail that it's set it and forget it. And by the way, you get Bold Trail for part of your $85 tech fee with EXP. Just another reason you should come on over. Let's have a conversation. Call or text me 717-571-0456. You're using Follow Up Boss. It's been a really long time since I've been in there, so I don't know how you would mimic that or what you would do to mimic that. One workaround, it's not a market report, but one workaround is you could set them up to get a weekly or a monthly email with all of the coming soon, active, pending, and just sold properties for their neighborhood directly in your MLS. It's going to take more time, but if we do the work, we're paid. The wonderful thing about this is we get paid pretty well when we sell a house, right? So like all of this seems like a lot of hard work. It's really not. It's really not. I'm sitting here in my kitchen in my t-shirt, haven't even gotten ready for the day, right? And I'm putting in the work. The work that I have done for the last hour, I am confident will yield a significant ROI. I just don't know when. I don't know. It won't be next week, but hopefully it's in October or November or December or some combination. There will. All right. A couple other things that I'm going to do today. I am going to do a couple of different social posts, and I'm gonna go onto Nextdoor, and I'm gonna create an event for a bingo fundraiser for my daughter's softball team, which on the surface has no relevance to what this is, except for the fact that you could do the exact same thing for real estate related events, an open house or whatever. So I just want to show you the process of that on Nextdoor, and then let you figure out the real estate applications. If you're doing open houses, you absolutely should be including Nextdoor as a way to get more eyeballs to the open house. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to post socially. I did this on Monday or Tuesday, a new listing that went live yesterday to generate eyeballs and more free leads as well. And then I'm going to have to come in for a landing and get ready to A, clean myself up, and B, get out to my appointment at 11. Okay, so actually, let me do this first. So I created an event for the bingo fundraiser first on, what the heck? Sorry, text thread with Charlene and Cosette, my buyer agent. So I created this event on Facebook, which, by the way, again, if you're doing events, open houses, things of that nature, you absolutely should create them as an event and share them into groups that are relevant. So I did this morning. Okay. And now I'm going to go to Nextdoor and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go post. I'm going to go create an event. Okay. So I'm going to discard this. Hit post and then create event. Cover photo. I made this extremely, whoops. I clicked the wrong photo. I created this extremely simple cover photo with Canva. It's literally just 2 pictures on a blank canvas. There it is. I mean, could not be more simple. The event is October 12th. Check-in starts at 11 a.m. I don't really know why, because bingo doesn't start until 1, but whatever. And I'm going to add end time. Okay, this is where you would just put, like, if it's for an open house, you would literally just be putting the start and end time for the open house. Okay, location. This is critically important for your events. You have to put in the actual location because it will then show this to the people that are nearby. Franklintown Fire. Okay, I need to do the address, which I had, but then I got, here it is. Okay, 107 South Baltimore Street. And it's, yep, there it is. Okay. So, and then you have to tap the location. Okay. The event name, I'm going to go and copy that from here. I'm going to try to. Why does it do that? You copy. I'm going to copy that. And you would say open house, and I would put the address. Okay. That's what I would put in there. And then add more details. I'm going to copy the this that I already wrote up. In the details, I would include information about the open house, and I would include a link, if you're using listings to leads, for example, to the same link that you would post, that I'm going to do in a minute for my new listing, that you would post out to capture leads. I would include that link in there, and then I would make sure that you've got your contact info, et cetera, et cetera. All right. I'm going to hit next. You can review it here. Exclamation point. Post. Boom. Okay. Event shared. Also, I mean, would love to sell some more bingo tickets. If you're interested, come check it out. All right. Now I'm going to go to listings to leads. I did this earlier in the week as well for the building lot. That turned into, I think I've captured 16 or 18 leads now so far with that. Here's the just listed property. It's a little cabin on 1/3 of an acre. Bear with me here. So what I did was, if you're using listings to leads, which if you're not, there should be a link in the description for a free 21-day trial. It's growwithjosh.com, the letter L, the number 2, the letter L, okay? So, and what I did was I pulled up the listing, and then I tapped market listing, and then I went to social media post, okay? I'm going to do a couple of things editing-wise first. I'm going to tap edit image, And I'm not actually going to edit. I'm going to go download, and I'm going to download the Instagram version, which is the square version. And then I want also the Facebook version, which is the, what's the word I'm looking for? The horizontal version of it. Okay. And this is probably the last thing that I'm going to have time to dig into today. Okay. So I need to download the Facebook version of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post on my Google business profile, this listing. I'm going to post this listing to Nextdoor. Then I'm going to post it to my Facebook business page. And then I'm going to share that post into relevant Facebook groups, which is how I'm capturing the majority of the leads, generating the majority of the traffic and capturing a majority of the leads. Okay, so I've got the images that I need. The next thing I like to do is I edit the post. So, oh, why do I still have coming soon in there? Jeez. I need to edit my MLS listing. I don't know why I've been putting that in there. That's silly. And you got to go change it. I'm going to do that. I paste in this information with all of my posts that I do like this. Airbill PA just listed. Hashtag Josh Schoenly, hashtag real estate, hashtag realtor, hashtag realty, hashtag broker. I don't know, we don't need broker. Hashtag for sale, like how about home for sale? House hunting, that's probably good. Yeah, let's see here. Anything else that I need? So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to Nextdoor. I'm going to start on Nextdoor. I'm going to go post. I'm going to add a photo. I'm going to choose the horizontal version of the photo. I'm going to add a location. I'm going to type in the location, the address for the property. Use this location. I'm going to post this here. And I'm going to post. Next. Type in Google. Bring up my Google business listing, which I bring up by just typing in starting to type in my name, Google, who I am, finds me. And posts, add post. I'm going to grab that same image, the horizontal one. I'm going to post this in here. Now, you cannot in your description have phone numbers, emails, links, or anything like that. So you got to clean that out of it. And then I change tap, learn more below. So I'm telling them to tap learn more below, and then I add a button, learn more, post that in, bada bing, bada boom. Last thing, I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to go to my business page. I'm going to tap here. This one, I'm going to do the square version of the image. Oh, dang it. I forgot. And I don't have all of that saved anymore. Where is that? It's right here. Paste that. Next. Post. And now I'm going to stop my screen share. For the rest of this, I go on my app on my phone because it's just easier and faster this way. Okay. So I need to do this from my actual personal profile. The first thing I need to do is I need to search and bring up my business page, but I'm not switching to my business page. I'm just going to my business page from my personal profile. And then I need to find that post right here. And I hit share. And I tap group, bottom middle. And then I need to find the local groups that are relevant to this listing based upon the area. And so I'm going to type in York because it's in York County. And then I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm posting to 7 of them, it looks like. Okay. Next. I'm gonna put, this is a fixer-upper. So I'm gonna put the house emoji. That's a fixer-upper. Where is it? Oh, it's that one there. Okay. And I'm gonna put an arrow down, and I'm gonna put eyeballs. The eyeball, like, ooh, look at this. Look at that. Okay. And then I'm gonna share. That's it. That's it. And I'll report back on Monday how many free leads that generates between now and the end of the weekend. I also may go sometimes, depending on the property and what's happening, I will share to even more groups the next day or a day later to generate even more activity on it and generate even more leads from it. I think that's it. I think that's all I had on my list for today. I'm going back through my notes just to make sure I didn't miss something. I've got more going on as well, but I'm going to save some of that till Monday. And so I will be back Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. I should be at that normal time every day next week. And I'm excited to hear back from those of you who were, what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable enough to post in the comments what you're committing to do today. I'm looking forward to for the sharing of wins on Monday, and also to get even more people on a regular basis sharing. Here's what I'm going to do today. Here is the one thing, or the maybe 2 or 3 things that I'm going to do today to move my business forward. The 1, 2, or 3 things I'm going to do today to either generate or capture more leads, get into more conversations with more leads, or potentially write more contracts from those. So really good stuff. Wish my son luck tomorrow. It should be fun. Pam and I haven't seen him in a while, and so they'll be playing at a pretty cool stadium. And neither of us, well, I guess I've been to Chicago one time for a Cubs game, but Pam's never been there, so that should be fun and exciting. And I'll be back on Monday. If you need anything or have any questions in the meantime, please DM me, drop a comment, or, I mean this sincerely, call or text me 717-571-0456, 717-571-0456. And if you need help, if you want to strategize, if you want to chat about making a move to EXP, if you have a client or yourself that you're in the mid to high 6s or even 7%, and you want to see if we can get you locked in the mid 5s, whatever it is, I want to hear from you. I want to chat. I love having conversations. So not only do I have multiple listing appointments next week, I also have, I think, 4 appointments with other agents to talk about strategy, to see how we can help, etc. One of them is in person with a guy who's somewhat local, and the rest of them are phone calls or Zooms. And I love that. I love talking the business. I love doing this business. And I want to help as many of you as I possibly can. So thanks for spending some time here. Check out swipe4leads.com, swipe the number 4 leads.com, and also check out the resources above or below the video in the description. Make it a great weekend. Make it a great weekend. Do the work, do the work, do the work.